Smirnoff. His clearest thought, not beer but vodka. This illogic, yo. I don't wanna bother the dead, and I know you've got a god complex. Though you may applaud the last poets, your soul may be not the man to show us the poem of stockbrokerdom and all our ownership. I hope if a bomb explodes on them, and it's all unwoven, robot soldiers controlling thought with force, as Noah's Ark, his boat adrift, his glow-in-the-dark poetry, this lunarly narcoleptic orbit of the dark center of your myth. I hope the robots glitch, and that's not just a threat, it's a prophecy and a bet. These dollars and pennies on apocalyptic entropy tossed into the frenzied gathering reverie, channeling Jan Svankmeyer's energy, and that the way his letters read is animated and 3D. Kingly, this think piece of ink that drips trippingly from this tongue tip. The king of another realm. Give me my props, friends, it's obvious, or go fuck yourself. This is the water, this is the well. Is the song not sinking itself? Was there a fatherly physics behind his unconscious imagism? Was his art really Cartesian? Was the bard's weird rap not really radical? His ennui was black, though de facto political. Whether he planned it so or didn't at all. Picasso in his box, this afro pickpocket, thinking Kant entertainment, pontificating, phronimo analytically speaking on empty, these dream thoughts aplenty, seesawing between the we and the one, collectively, sexily as in the wet sexes and sex within the sea foam of phonemic moments, meaning unknown to them, meal of mobile nomenclature, these comatose neighbors, words as the motor of a Roman road or a railway of prayer. A failed statement fatic, symptomatic of late-stage capitalism. The flames they can't absorb, as the fables in his rap were more than anamorphic camera distortion, wrapping into the lens another random image structure to latch onto another word. The gathering structure serving to hand these other versers a savage bludgeoning, wrapped in his muttering fashion you wore as the Panther uniform. Not Chadwick but Kaluuya as Hampton, or the dude himself. Steve Brule, for your health. Yo, this beat, Ab-Soul song, was just absolutely phantasmic a few years ago. I hope I can do the beat justice with this track that I'm As Plato decides the way, I must know the forms. He made for us divine shapes, dinosaurian eighth notes, flying yea high in the Orpheum, Beethoven's ninth, a strangely writhing ocean, grayish golden. The rhyme play in my poems, Baby Yoda, with the diamonds they might have stolen from Angola. That's if I made a heist film in space for real, no filmic times made of light, I think. It's Friday night and I'm listening to Stankonia with Heidegger's basic writings, the later concepts, as primates fighting awakened deep thought. 'Tis nigh 8 or 9 or 10, the tape recalling the wine into grapes on the vine again. Am I the great Leviathan, great-grandfather? Time is waving pines in the wind. Dry wit, hopscotching within the rhyme stricture, awesome with ridiculous, entwined in literature, quantumly physicalize the wizard in the middle of the night as the Dippers. My nigger, to the schizophrenic mind within us, give as many dimes and nickels as you can find within your coats. Yo, I didn't make this sign just to tickle this declining zipper, shining as piss in the snow. Scientific as Mao, literary how, like these weird words amuse you. As a theater of cruelty to readers of Proust, confused over beers as he muses in music too fluid, the unicorn of truth hidden in the blueberry thicket. Pretty numeral, oh isn't it? Too legit to quit, I suppose. Maybe in a few years I'll stop rapping, but right now that's not happening. The key to your heart within this meaningless stardust was in speech or Baruch's touch. Supremer than spark plugs, there's no good answer. No hidden in the wooden panel's door to hold your womanly magic, though you know I wouldn't have before. Recklessly the matador in clothes of reddest satin for closing conventional rap forms. To get to the facts of your soul with a text as the Brachiosaurus, extending its giraffe neck forward through the patternless forest. This Valentine of sorts was such that, analyzed or not, it stands behind the world and watches as I search your soft internet for signs, words I've not clicked yet within the riddles of this interlinked mesh. Its intimacy extending its infinite jest, comparing those eidolon eyes to those little fires we watch in the sky, pretendingly married in 99, and blaring Prince's sign of the times, comparing those eidolon eyes to those little fires we watch, comparing those eidolon eyes, blaring Prince's sign of the times. On this weirdly offbeat Valentine, about how she's always passing me by, transmuted into a rap more scientific, in its laughter at my religion of truth, passion, desire, and literature, peace. I mean, that's kind of immature. Can I kick it though? Yes, I mean, I'm black and I'm in the ghetto of Vancouver. East Van, fentanyl in Vancouver, fast asleep on the curb. Vancouver streets as the etymon, a word wherefrom we get what we deserve. The city named for some European, the Woodward's W, a gleam in the sun. What do you mean I'm drunk and struggling with my needle in the dark? It's nothing to be too hung up on, so love me or leave me alone. If you ever get bored of Eminem and Ezra as the floral stems bend, exit through the doors of perception and get your umbrella wet, connected in form to the feminine, his devilry worn as the red dress and torn as Nebuchadnezzar's portion of the text was Daniel, descended from cannibals more than ever. in the hands of those forming sentences as antelopes, torn to shreds in his massive jaws. Nemo Frenex, sadly no, you're exempt from his manifesto, combing his pessimistic afro, so unkempt as if Manson flowed, though I guess he did have a flow. So many were stabbed after all, as the Kotex tampon involved in poetry's vaginal logic. Oh, these walls loquacious, soberly voluble, naked, eponymously naming his text, the bodily shape of it erect and walking from A to Z. Canadian as meth and faith as pathology. Jesus Christian may be watching Altman's 3 Women in the autumn of the winter of its spring, glisteringly twinkling. Microphone check. Yo, water rushing to the shore. Yo, check this out. Yo, backup vocals. Check this out. Dig. His toga-wrapped dialectic, so Palestine-friendly, holding back my forever grief, though contaminated by empathy. Chords he attacked as blind lemon, born into blackness by the river, formed of math, rhyme and rhythm, warping the patterns I'm spinning for the black mind Virgilian or romantic, like William Wordsworth's anodyne system, forming paradise or heaven, bored by Canto 97, your guide agile with his weapon the sword, while dancing like on television, poor guy standing by the metronome for my rap's shiny metal, pouring Palestine a bottle, or catching fire for all to know his form, advancing like the novel. Is your black life hollow? Perhaps it's time to follow the words Andrew rhymed almost as if advancing like apocalypse. You can't define all that is, bluely lambent like the water says, doing the math like a communist, moving crack, rhymes prophetess, too black for white logic, I guess that's kind of obvious as the afro upon my balding head, as my long dead ancestral Kenyans in this text, in the breath of it, and in the breadth of Moses' wit, and in the sweat-wet excellence in its messaging, his telepathy. To the shore. Just walking alone. Yo, Andrew Baruch, the King, Volume 2. Cogito ad absurdum, the street lamps turning on, sleepy and blurry, the Jay-Z mask firming, in laughter till they turn and see a real black person. Cogito ad verbum, these raps ergo sum, too old to read black words as one, alas. The Juno Diaz's of the world cancelled, relaxed as the girl's afro flattened, the curls unnatural, flattening the world categorical, the color of a black and white film, bound to the mast by white will, the pirate dancing like the river, violently splashing white and fizzy, just like Canada Dry, delicious and quietly black as white history. These ships at sea, so the chattel dies in misery, baptized by the pastor disguised behind the Black Lives Matter sign whipping me. I just woke up slow, like the death throes of a buck or doe, by the death blows struck like so, through the chest or through the stomach. Poems like the best show on WFMU, endless, desultory and true as the evergreen growth of Lenny Bruce into the incredible Hulk. And when you find me as Lenny, supinely dead as the tree loggers sliced disconnectingly, lost as any rhyme eventually in cross-space-time telephony. Alas, they couldn't telephony false from the greater good of elegant poetry, slave-spirian and holy as the chain of mirrors we call phronimo analysis, a blacker physics of the ghost within capitalism. These cocaine addicts listening to Boldy James tracks uncritically, the phronimo analytic asleep in you, dreamfully deep to his meaning bluer than Miles Davis alive in his name yet, as it cries in a language, shines as the rays of his brass, high as angels, as the violent waves of the Pacific, the silent hate of the religious, hiding their shame with the fig leaves, restricting speech as his rhyme-ridden scheme. This scientist of meaning, I'm literally the king, finite as the I Ching, and infinitely specific, and so unlike Ye, the real genius. Kanye, the real genius. Not maybe me, really, friends. This pond's waves were a sea from the perspective of the puny insects on its ripples. Dig. Kanye, the real genius. Not maybe me, really, friends. This pond's waves were a sea from the perspective of the puny insects on its ripples. Kanye, the real genius. Not maybe me, really, friends. This pond's waves were a sea from the perspective of the puny insects on its ripples. Check the microphone. Make sure the sound is clear. You gotta check the microphone. Make sure it's all as clear as it can be. It's the vicarious habit, as private shares in the capitalist's hyacinth purple passages, as two flights in mid-air crashing. A writer nesting in the branches of white leather-bound books. Pound and Wyndham Lewis collected, now useless. This Newfoundland brewery, neath a flowery ruby, through the cloud illuminative of bark, fountainously groovy. The unicorn of steeds, too abnormally streety, yet floral. To succeed, De La Soul, the new peacenik, as yeast risen, Jesus Christian, as he said on The King Volume 1. This is The King Volume 2. The King Volume 2. Microchemical, the night caps in the dark of time's envelope, whitely bizarrely, the blizzard's icy embargoism, inverted as arson. The word gardener, the first to darken this trail in his blazer, a snail on the ancient floor. In strange words galore, psychedelic, the shape heard as orange, that green word performed as the flavor, not the color, the meter all informal, as dream thought conforming to tropes. Yo. And they thought I wasn't Hector, taking a golf club to the projector, matching the skill of Matt Damon, smashing this Iliad to fragments. Microphone check. Alright. The ruler's back. Yeah. Phronimo analytical. These feet to slap and tickle. Sweet Jesus, that's delicious weed. This free-handed intimacy. Streets black and glittery. In 3 panels, a triptych deep as the sleepy sleeps with the fishes beneath the seas, black and glittery. This comedian as the letter G, greener than Christmas trees, and evil as the Grinch as she relaxes into the beast as you wade within the hot tub, so close to Ray Vaughn on the map, playing all these Joey Badass tracks. From the safety of cold Canada, yeah, and like the Grinch on his mountain, to the pimp-walking clowns of America, dude. Where's Erykah Badu in this beef stew, and where did I put my shoes? I gotta get out of here. A ghost in the house of hip-hop, the poet without his boxers. We need more West Coast dick licking. We just don't respect Joey's disposition, his opinion, nor Ray Vaughn, blander than most crackers. For we hate all propaganda, obscurer than Ray Vaughn's thoughts on gas or some ancient prog rock anthem. These lost papers scattered, yo, do you have rolling papers? The poet's failures were bolder than the mistakes of most A-listers. The ruler's back, unasked as Pluto, too black, not to rap, from beyond the Oort cloud. But, have you heard Ray Vaughn? Ray Vaughn, he's okay. Somewhat of a Don Quixote, mock heroic. Ray Vaughn, the poet. The rays of dawn opening legs, the water broken. The day's not over, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. In Ray Vaughn's Amogus, the space-time coordinates, grapes, limes, and oranges, the seaplane awake, flying over us. Is that Andrew Varg, the captain of this art, the standard we guard as Canada's arm? This craft in the dark of space, Andrew Varg's tape, wrapped in part of today's news, labeled the truth, these holy rap tracks, Joey Badass raking in the jewels, totally random as fate and as acute, sorry, obtuse, sort of confusing, Baruchian radical, so free of phallic symbolism. Throwing Joey and Rayvon under the bus, mathematical chaos, not unstructured. Not to rep East Van or Vancouver, Canada's human world, but to unite the two in their work against the bark, their common enemy. Long, wendingly everlasting, a death-wrapped exquisite in bread's black and glittery, Afro-literary. Rap's missionary, badass, hadn't the passion as this canary to rap this carelessly, or so it would seem to those less sensitive to where the wind was headed these days. All as waves on waves, as rave on, entertaining almost, but maybe not the goat, as breaking all the rules. These shapes were not useful, obtuse, as the language pottery movement. The language pottery movement, treating clay as language, the Rayvon of really making sense, as Yahweh breathing into the clay his rayness. Rayvon, who the fuck is Rayvon? But in all seriousness, I've heard his entire oeuvre, and I couldn't tell you who the fuck he is. And Joey Badass, well, I'm positioning myself as the whisper of time sent adrift, and not the ruler of some tenements, sexting my truth toward the heavens, as if unused to forming sentences. The lagoon shore a crescent, fluorescent. Such fruits as oranges and lemons. Yo, the ruler is continuing to loiter in the building.
Damn, conductor, where'd you find this?
Having hallucinations. Oh, you were hurt somehow by the word mumbler. Earache could mean you heard something, conflating two birds in one wisdom, confused where you could learn something. I've usually heard such a criticism as, I like Jay-Z, Lupe Fiasco, the style they preach is super practical rhymes with meanings you can map. Why can't he rap like that? And when I make sense, it's black and abstract. This hydro text from a plastic handgun, the Bible sent back from Africa. Time has kept in his radical black agenda, fighting the past in his lectures, rewriting the canon from its very stem toward the stigmas, from its oral traditions toward the written structures, the city deconstructed, or literally upended with a grin by Godzilla. The winter's frost a glitter, yo. If men and not women were akin to God's image, then it's not sexism to call the male spirit a concept suspicious, though as dogs when they're given the ball, men were into it. Fooling around, just toying with the joyous concept of masculinity. Dig this. As the bullet enters and exits me, this art splattered as red speech, dark matter, dark energy. Among those arcana his epic believed, the death blood collecting beneath his head slumped, dead in his seat. The bench blood wet and the trees wept, rust red leaves over every one of those gathered at the scene. The detectives must have been laughing, their police, as the rapper's fans weep, though wrapped in black at the funeral.